whoever is watching this video, I appreciate you taking the time. Today, I have with me Jordan and Brooke from TDS Pharmacy in Michigan. They are actually the first pharmacy to implement this program, so they can give a real testimonial, a real account of what it was like to implement this program, execute it from the ground level, some of the growing pains and things that we've learned along the way, but now they're doing very well with it. So Brooke and Jordan, I would love if you guys could just first introduce yourselves, what you do at the pharmacy, just really quickly for the people watching.
All right, so my name is Jordan. I'm the pharmacy manager here at our store. We do about 900 to 1,000 prescriptions a day. Usually have 3 to 4 pharmacists on staff at any given point in time, roughly 12 technicians as well. We do long-term care packaging. We sync people's meds. We have about 1,000 people on meds sync. So my day-to-day, just making sure the pharmacy runs smooth, solve a lot of problems, put out a lot of fires, and any chance I get, I try to talk to people about proactive health in those small moments where I get to counsel people in depth. And that started a few years ago. This is just a topic that I'm really passionate about. And I started doing sit-down consultations with patients. And those started to go pretty well, and that was caught on. And I've been doing that for a few years. But I didn't see a lot of people interested in it. So Brooke and I and Chris teamed up to kind of get a funnel of people to me to help them improve their health and sit down and learn about supplements. And it's been a great way for us to increase the volume of people that I get to talk to, and I really appreciate that process and how it's worked out for us.
And my role here originally just started back in the office. So I manage our 340B accounts for our 3 stores. We've got GeriMed for long-term care. And I do our contracting, and I do lots of pharmacy accounting, and deal with a lot of the issues, problems. But I have a personal passion for just health and wellness, and wanted to help our store and community really just get better. We just seem to be getting more and more sick, and it's kind of sometimes when I tell people that we're a pharmacy that wants to help people get off of medications, you get kind of a funny look because it's not your traditional way of thinking, but that really has been part of a driving force behind what we're doing, is wanting to get our patients better.
Absolutely. So just for context really quickly, because obviously some of the numbers that you guys just rattled off are, impressive to a lot of pharmacies. Yeah. What is the size of the town that you guys are located in? Just so there's some context in terms of, how big of a population you're really in.
We're not big. Our county has 25,000 people. We service basically most of the county. There's 4 pharmacies in our county. We own 2 of the pharmacies in the county. And the other one is Walmart and Walgreens. And by far and large, we service a lot more of the population than they do.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Absolutely. So I know you guys touched on it a little bit, and maybe you've kind of already answered this question, but what was, I guess, the primary reason for wanting to implement or execute a program like this, both personally in terms of, I guess, helping people, and then also financially to, obviously sell more supplements and just the things that it would bring to the store?
Sure. I guess I'll go first.
I think people are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah,
sick and tired people are crabby people.
Like I said, I fill 900 to 1,000 scripts a day, and people come and go. I see several hundred people a day, and a lot of them are unhappy and ill. And you see them every month. Any other pharmacist that's listening to this, you see the same people every month. And month in and month out, they might go on more medication. They never really come out with less. And you just see their health decline over the years, and watch your patients get sick and die. And I just wanted to find a way to be able to help people out and teach them the information they need to empower themselves, so that they don't have to go down that road. So that's personally like my biggest reason for doing this.
You were sick yourself too.
Yeah, and I was ill myself. I had digestive problems for a lot of years after college, and this has been my avenue to cure myself essentially. So I trust in the products and what I'm saying to people and what I've learned, and I'm able to implement it and help them. And financially, it's also good for the pharmacy. I mean, we're making anywhere from 12 to 17% gross margin on drugs. It's not great. Supplements, we can do much better. It's not going to be a huge part of our business, but it's going to make up for the portion that, to keep the doors open.
Yeah, we can't control the
drug part,
the drug side of things. So taking control of what we can,
taking control of your business,
and being able to help our help our patients take control of their health as well. It's a win-win.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess, Brooke, if you wanted to go first, what has been your experience like implementing the program and actually helping the customers, right? So obviously people are coming in, they're, joining and becoming a part of this program. What has your personal experience been like being the one that actually runs the program? And then Jordan, if you could touch on being the pharmacist.
I essentially run the program, I guess. So I manage all of our people, keep track of them. I'm their accountability coach. I'm their support system. I'm their resource of information. Of course, Jordan, our pharmacist, is
you're my secretary.
He likes to call me a secretary, but so I have a heavy involvement almost daily with all of the people that join the program, and it's very rewarding. I always say that they come in as strangers, but they leave as really good friends. And at the end, when they're crying because they are feeling better, I'm crying there with them because I was there through their journey and in getting them better. So I love what I do in the program.
I think just the process kind of cultures that in people too, because you do an initial sit down with these people, and they're dedicated to changing right off the bat. So you're not getting people in the program that are going to kind of just go by the wayside and drift off. These people are looking to make actual change.
They're making an investment in their health.
Yeah, they're investing in their health. So they're going into it with a very positive light, and then they're exacting change and reaping the benefits. So it's great all around.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've had a number of conversations, obviously, with you, Brooke, and every time the program wraps up, it's clear how much stronger you feel about the program just because of the way you're able to help people and their experiences at the end of it. So Jordan, I know I've kind of heard this story a little bit, but if you could explain for a pharmacist what the day-to-day is like in terms of just, a normal day in the pharmacy versus, the days where you're able to sit down with more patients, talk to them about, supplements, all that sort of stuff. Just kind of give a contrast of those days for you and which one obviously you kind of prefer.
Sure. So yeah, most days are probably still spent working in the pharmacy just as as a manager. So my days, like I said, 900,000 prescriptions, a lot of insurance fires to put out, a lot of patient complaints to put out, staffing fires to put out. A lot of days I leave the pharmacy after 10 hours and it's just like a weight coming off my shoulders. Like, thank God I'm going home, because it's stressful, and everybody out there is going to know that it's a stressful job. So on the days that I get to sit down with people, 4 or 5 people over the course of a 10-hour day, and I get to have those deep, meaningful conversations with them, and they leave energized and ready to change their lives. And I've provided them with a good regimen of supplements to take, and those days are great. I mean, it's completely different. You just feel so much more empowered in helping people, and I just feel a lot better at the end of those days. And not even just those days. Yesterday I had probably two or three people come in that I've seen in the past, and they always come up, shake my hand, give me a great smile, and say, "Man, you really helped me out, and I really appreciate it." I had a lady come in and say she was going to get our child something for she's pregnant. She's my wife, by the way. And
Context.
we're having a child in 2 months. And this patient came up and said, I need to get you guys a gift for your child because you did so much good for me. So to hear that from like strangers and then getting to know people, and it's just a really rewarding thing.
Yeah, and without going into too much detail, I'm sure when he comes home, Brooke, the night you guys spend together is probably a little bit better than those stressful days, I would imagine.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, night and day difference.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It'd be a little
Yeah.
crappier on some evenings than those evenings.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
too that you just mentioned that the difference that you feel in those sit downs, but from my side of things, when I'm sitting down with them or just talking with them throughout the program, how many compliments we got from his sit downs, because people don't get we do an hour-long sit down. You don't get that with your physician. You are in, out, and it's not because
12 to 15 minutes is what you get.
yeah, and it's not because
And
they
not-
don't want to.
yeah.
They're being
Yeah.
regulated as well, which the patients don't understand. But we have a very unique avenue to help our patients. And that, they all just like, I've never had someone sit down and like explain all of this to me and go through all of this with me and actually listen and actually care to help me to get better instead of saying, oh, you have this problem, which is actually a side effect from your last problem. Let's do this. Here's a script. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
And they do that day in and day out. Not everyone. They're definitely, I can't speak for all the physicians out there, but
It's traditional Western medicine, and everybody
yeah.
on here is going to know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So, Brooke, with you, executing the program, and I guess for those watching, again, as I said before, the first pharmacy to do it. Obviously, there's been a lot of changes, a lot of trial and error, things that we've improved over the course of time. I guess could you speak to a little bit the support you've gotten, both in terms of like one-on-one meetings, but then also just like resources, documents, trainings, etc., to take you from someone who hasn't done a program like this and was really kind of new to sales and accountability, I guess, in a sense, although you had some experience with that, to obviously where you are now, running the program and having done it a couple times, and just the confidence level that you have now.
Yeah, I will say definitely the more rounds you do, the more confident you get. And the first round is hard to, a little bit hard to have that like success confidence, because obviously it's the first time you're running the program, but you just have to trust that, you know what you're doing and you're going to help people. And we're advocates for you, that we know that you can, you can have that success to help your patients. But I would say I was definitely nervous our first round. And I always laugh at like the first 5 or even 10 people that I met with. I was, stumbling over, what I was doing, but we were provided with, it would have been a complete disaster if we didn't have all of, the resources and the sales guide and just how to go through it. When we're sitting down with the potential customers, programmers, that took a weight off of my shoulder, that, I didn't have to, then come up with all of these ins and out details. And now how am I going to present this to them? And, how am I going to
Structure is key.
yeah, how am I going to present this in a fashion that, looks good, essentially. And so that having all of that done and there for us was huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So I guess, really quickly, if you guys could just both touch on just how you feel, I guess, about continuing to implement this program, and just kind of the maybe the benefit, or how you think it's going to continue to assist your pharmacy moving forward, as you want to, as you guys described, help more people, get people off of prescriptions, etc. How you feel this program is going to play a role in that mission moving forward?
For me, because we're now offering an extended period of time that I might be able to follow a patient, We have one patient that signed up for an entire year's worth of, utilizing the program. That's a year that she gets chances to sit down with me, so I get to follow her progress and make the appropriate changes to her regimen, guide her off of certain medications if that's going to be a route that we want to take. So for me, it's almost indispensable to be able to have a structure in place so that I can continually meet with a patient for an extended period of time. Otherwise, in a pharmacy-based situation, that doesn't happen. We're not appointment-based. So it's just a new model for us, coming out and being able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been huge. I mean, we tried things in the past. Like Jordan said, we fill on a good day, if you call it, 1,000 scripts a day. Although sometimes busier is not better.
Yeah.
But you can imagine doing that. We have a lot of foot traffic. And I've even tried doing events in the store to get people that are just coming through. And we could hardly get anyone.
Yeah.
And, we have hundreds of people walk through our door a day, and I could hardly get anyone. We did events. We have a local college. We spent weeks preparing, presentations and, what we were going to do. And then to have a couple people show up can be like disheartening,
Yeah,
and sometimes you just want to throw in the towel and just be like, no one wants to listen. No one wants to do this.
I've held events where like 5 people would show up. I've held events where 70 some people would show up. There's no rhyme or reason to it really.
Yeah.
But having something or system in place to get people through the door that are interested in taking charge of their life already, and then being able to get a sit down with those people, it's useful.
Yeah.
You have to have that direction to you rather than waiting for people to come to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So what would you guys say, just, lastly, to a pharmacy that's obviously interested in the program, nervous about doing something new, as I have a ton of conversations with pharmacies. I'm sure you guys felt this way in a sense, just of all the things you guys try. There's been a lot of marketing efforts that have been suggested, tried, recommended, etc. And a lot of times don't work at all. So a lot of pharmacies have some reservations towards any sort of marketing, advertising, getting customers in the door. What would you say to those people that have those reservations in terms of, implementing this program at their pharmacy?
I'd say just try it.
Just do it. Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a learning curve regardless, but your system of getting people to us has been
I'll never forget. Now, granted, these kinks are worked out.
Yeah.
But the first time we did the program, Chris did our marketing for us. And we've done marketing in the past and, never had good turnout. Well, I remember going, okay, it's launch day, and we're like, sweet, like hopefully we get a couple people interested. And I remember Chris calling me at home because we had hundreds of people and we had to shut off the ads because we were like, how are we going to deal with all of these people?
We were with 200 people.
Yeah, we were just me.
Yeah.
We were mind blown at the amount of people just in the first round of a program we had never run before. Really hadn't had we didn't have experience running before.
No.
Just the strategies that that you use brought in tons of traffic, and now we have a much better system in place to be able to take care of them. But yeah, I'll never forget just being like, so we have like 200 people in the first like couple hours. What are we gonna do now? Which ended up being, obviously that is a great problem to have, from going from hardly having anyone show up to events to having hundreds of people, wanting to hear more about this program and get better. So it just, your avenue of marketing is fantastic.
Awesome. Great. Well, I appreciate both of you guys giving me some time to, share your experience. And hopefully everyone that got a chance to watch this hears their personal experience and, takes it into account for the decisions moving forward. Thanks for helping out today and just sharing your stories, both of you.
No problem.
Of course.